I did not expect to wake up to the news this morning that one of the biggest football clubs in the world sacked their manager just a year later after winning the biggest trophy in football.
Wow, Theo, me neither. I thought this was a prank when you came through to this room. Thomas Tuchel has only been the manager for less than 2 years, a year and a half. He's won one of the biggest trophies in football. He's taken Chelsea back into the Champions League. And what? He's sacked because you lose to Dinamo Zagreb, who, by the way, we said this yesterday, they're a decent team.
Absolutely. Didn't they beat Tottenham the year before?
Theo, they are the Croatian champions. It is a very difficult place to go. You cannot sack a manager based on one result. And also based upon, an indifferent start to this season, but it's only 6 games in.
Only 6 games in. Who said they couldn't change around the tactics? How can you sign a whole new squad and let them develop under Tuchel, adapt, and then a few weeks in, sack the manager? What do the players think now, sitting in that dressing room, thinking we're getting a new manager in the middle of the season? It's a very odd timing.
It is chaos, Theo. Haven't they just brought in Aubameyang? He's not kicked a ball yet.
He hasn't kicked a ball yet. He's probably just shake Tuchel's hands and now Tuchel's off. Can we talk about his stats as a manager for Chelsea Football Club? 99 games, 62 wins, 19 draws and 18 losses. To me, that sounds pretty good. Average points per match, 2.07. To give you that some comparison, Antonio Conte for Spurs has a 1.93 points per match. So Tuchel had a better record than Conte.
Wow, Theo, this to me looks like a new owner coming in. I'm not sure he really understands football, and it's completely knee-jerk, isn't it, Theo?
Yeah.
You lose one game, you get angry and you do something. It's like a baby, isn't it, throwing toys out the pram.
And showing his lack of knowledge in football, they never decided to hire a director of football role, and that weirdly became Ted Bowley's position. Yes, he's made some good signings, but will it adapt? Will it click with his lack of knowledge within football?
Well, we've said this all along, haven't we, Theo? The guy's come in, he's trying to run the thing himself, and he doesn't understand the game. And by the way, football and the industry of football is very complex. It's like no other, and it takes years to get your feet under the table and work out what's happened.
You have to live and breathe football.
Yes.
Grow up, literally wake up. Your first memory should be in a football stadium. And then, when you're older in your 50s, 60s, 70s, if you still have a love for it and you have money, that is the perfect ownership. I do not believe Ted Bowley understands what this decision means.
And I'll tell you something else about Thomas Tuchel, Theo. I've liked him all the way along because what he did early on, he took players like Antonio Rudiger, who were struggling at the time, and he brought out their talent. He's good with the players, Theo.
Yeah, and it was actually the board, apparently, who didn't put in a proper bid to get Rudiger going and staying at Chelsea. Apparently he would have. That information came out recently, which makes me think Tuchel made him one of the best centre-backs in the world. He got dumped off and told to leave. It makes me question the board's decisions this season. When all the sanctions were going on in Russia and Chelsea were getting massively affected, they couldn't have fans, no one was getting paid apart from a few players, Tuchel stayed. He stayed through all of it. He kept faith in the club when everything was going on. He easily could have walked. He wasn't getting paid his full wage. Surely Chelsea deserved to add some loyalty back to the gaffer.
They've shown no loyalty, Theo, and that is a disgrace. We agree, Theo, Chelsea's start to the season after 6 games, it's not been brilliant. They were very lucky against West Ham.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress. You've got to give managers time.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly in the olden days, Alex Ferguson, he would have been sacked. Initially, the first couple of years, he didn't do very well. But the board back then, in the 80s, in the 90s, they stuck with him.
Yeah.
And look what that led to.
It wasn't long ago where the Chelsea fans had tifos with Tuchel on inside that stadium. They love him and they appreciate what they brought to him. I was there in Porto when Chelsea beat Manchester City. Yes, I repeat, Man City in the final. The odds were against them. No one believed, but the Chelsea fans kept the faith, and the ones that travelled know that was one of the best moments for their football club in years. And you're telling me, a year gone by, yes, he hasn't had a great start to the season, but let's not forget what he did last year, Dad. I was at Real Madrid in the second leg, where Chelsea made an incredible comeback to nearly knock out the Madridsters, the best team in the world. And if that Marcos Alonso goal stood, which was nearly okay, it was so well worked, they would have been in a Champions League semi-final against Man City, and they could have done them over again. And they finished 3rd in the Premier League. How is this sackable?
I know, Theo. It's a bad business decision, and it shows no class from Chelsea. And where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Do Liverpool sack Jurgen Klopp because they're lower than Chelsea in the table? Where does this all stop,
Yeah.
There's always going to be 10 teams in the bottom half of the table. This is a merry-go-round. It is ridiculous. Honestly, it must be one of the worst jobs in the world.
Worst jobs in the world. Why would anyone want to be a manager after doing the best you possibly could, and then one blip and you're gone? It's disgusting, and it makes me worry about the way football is going.
Yes.
And the Premier League. We spent $1 billion this summer. The top 5 leagues spent that combined. People like Chelsea Rory, I'm sorry, I don't want to have to bring him up today, but he's been making videos constantly saying Tuchel has to go, Tuchel has to go. I just don't know where it comes from. The guy won you the best trophy there is to be won. He's held together some great talent. He's made players better. We saw what he did with Rudiger, developing Mason Mount, trying to fit the system. Yes, you had a few bad games, but I went on Sky Sports and I defended Haaland.
Yes.
And I thought I came out right looking at the way. And I'll come out again on this video and say, Rory, you are wrong to say that Tuchel should have been sacked. And I don't know, maybe that video has gone round and everyone's been talking about it. I will call you out here. You are going to go down as a football club now, depending on who you get as a manager. Maybe Graham Potter is a step forward. But if you get anyone else that doesn't have a proper project, this could be the downfall of Chelsea Football Club. And your videos are starting this.
And I tell you what, Theo, another point is there's not a lot of great managers out there.
Yeah.
There's half a dozen incredible international standard managers, and every big team in the world is after them. So you've got rid of Tuchel. Who are you bringing in?
I think Graham Potter's the only option. Now, Josh, my editor, we'll get him on later. He's a Brighton fan to get his opinion. It puts Brighton right in a bad situation. That's the problem. When you're a top 6 club, you will get the best.
But Theo, the likes of Graham Potter and David Moyes back in the days, particularly when he was at Everton, these are good managers, Theo.
Yeah, but no.
They're not great managers. What I'm saying, there's not many Antonio Contes, Pep Guardiolas and the likes. There's not many of those names out there.
No, there's not many
unless
available
Chelsea
managers,
have got an amazing name waiting to go into Stamford Bridge tomorrow, what are they doing?
Yeah, and also, can I just say with their new signings, the wage structure that Ted Bowley's put in place, they're giving them a lot of money. I'm not sure this football club's heading in the right direction. I am quite worried. It's getting a bit too close to United in terms of wages. I would really worry if I was a Chelsea fan right now. I think Graham Potter is actually a good project manager. Do you think he would bring the best out of the players?
I would not get rid of Tuchel and bring in Graham Potter, Theo.
Yeah, it sounds like a downgrade.
Too early. You know, he's been a very good manager at Brighton.
Yeah.
We talk week in, week out about how well he's got his team playing. But there's a long way to go. Show me that. Do that for 5 years before I start singing your praises.
Let's look back at Tuchel's career first, okay? Because he started off at Mainz, made his name at that football club where he outperformed the statistics and data by far. Nobody thought they'd do as well as they did. Went to Dortmund and he pushed for that first place in the German league, and it didn't happen. There was a bit of a changing room scuffle and he left. At PSG, he started off brilliant. He fell out with the big names and he left. Chelsea, there must be something wrong within the dressing room or people upstairs. I don't understand on paper why this decision was made.
We don't know what's going on in the boardroom, in the dressing room. So you're right, maybe something happened last night. But if you're sacking a manager based on 6 average results in the Premier League and 1 poor result in Zagreb, then you're making a big mistake.
Because what are the expectations? I don't understand what he's thinking and what Tuchel is thinking and what the difference is. Because they are still in the Champions League. They could still win the Cup. They could still, end top 4. They're not going to win the Prem with City this year.
No.
So I don't get it. Joshua,
Hello,
you're here.
mate.
You're
I'm
a
here.
Brighton fan.
I'm not happy.
And the odds have slashed on Graham Potter to leave
Yes.
your Premier League club.
Yeah, I'm not happy, mate. I'm a bit heartbroken, and it could become reality soon that Potter could be a Chelsea manager.
Yeah.
But who knows? I've just seen Sky Sports, as you were filming, that they're going to be approaching Potter.
Oh,
so there
my
could be conversations.
goodness me.
There could be all this. And if Potter leaves Brighton, what does it leave for us as a club? Yeah.
As soon as someone does well, he's gone to one of the big clubs. And it's
Yeah.
really unfortunate because I'm a Bolton fan and we've been in the Prem. We have Big Sam. Maybe get Big Sam in. He's available.
God, don't start.
But no, every time someone makes a step forward, there's a step back.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know where Brighton go without Potter.
We've got this project, we've got the blueprint, we're in the right direction every year, we're making progress every single season, and now it's just looking like, if he goes, where do we go from here?
And let me ask you, what do you think about Tuchel being sacked?
I think it's a disgrace, mate. As you were just talking about, mate, it's a disgrace. He's won the Champions League, top 4 finishes, absolutely everything for the club. And I know they've been on some bad form lately, but come on now, you can't sack Tuchel.
Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with us, or do you agree with Rory that Tuchel should have been sacked?
No.
I think it's a sad day for football. There's no loyalty left in the game.
If you agree with us, hit the like button. You don't even have to leave a comment. This is one of the maddest things in football this year. I didn't expect to see it. The odds clearly didn't. And Potter going to Chelsea is adding more problems to the Premier League, weakening the smaller sides that want to break through that barrier. That's all I have to say. Smash the like button. We'll see you in a bit. For Chelsea Football Club, I don't know what the future holds, but we will keep you posted. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.